Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And this was cringe. Whatever. I'm Stacy and today we're doing my 2022 favorites. As always, I'm late, but better late than never. I'm pretty sure I said this in every single favorites video I've ever done. Basically, my favorites videos always start by makeup because that's just what I do on Instagram, so I always start with that. After that we go to like very random stuff. Yeah, let's just start. Basically, I'm just gonna show things that I haven't shown in my previous videos. I've already done 2 of these, so I'm not gonna show like my Fenty Beauty foundation because we all know I love that. I'm just gonna show stuff that I learned to love in 2022, and the rest of the things that I showed in the other videos are still favorites of mine. So yeah, if you want to watch those, you can watch them. So the first thing that I learned to love is this. It's the Sephora translucent setting powder. So it's just a translucent powder. I usually don't gravitate towards I don't know, translucent powder because I'm black and usually they just leave a white cast. That doesn't look good on us. But I saw a bunch of people on TikTok that are my skin color use this and it looked very good on them. So this is black friendly. You can use this. It costs like 13 euros I think, and it's so good. And like, I'm wearing it right now and it leaves like such a blurred under eye, and also I feel like even if I get oily, I don't look like a mess. I still look good. So I like this powder. It controls my oils really good, and it just leaves you with a finish that no other powder has ever done. So this is cheap and good, so go get it. After that, the eyeshadow palette that I used a lot this year is this one. I don't even know if she still sells this, but it basically looks like this. And what I like about it is that I have everything I need in here. The most used shade in here is this one because it's a very dark brown, and none of my other palettes have this kind of brown that I like, that is a warm toned brown, like a chocolatey brown. The other browns that I have are cool toned, and that's not what I look for most of the time. And also the shimmers are so good, and you just can do a lot of like basic ass eyeshadow looks with this. So this is what I keep in my makeup bag, and this is what I take with me to Brussels when I travel and stuff. This year I was on the part of I want my routine to be easy and fast and not on the glamorous side of things often, because I build like an everyday routine which I didn't have before. And that's why I appreciated little palettes like this that have all the colors that I need to create a easy look. So that's what I used. After that, I became a blush girly this year. I love blush. I overdo it all the time. I overdid it today. And the blush that I used a lot was the shade, these blushes. They're from H&M, and often when they have sales you get these for €1, and they're so good, and they have so many shades. I have so many shades of these. This was one of the shades that I use a lot. I had like a more red tone that I can't find that I used a lot in the summertime, but this is just the shade Coral from them. That's also what I'm wearing right now, and I just love the blushes. They're not super expensive. They do what they have to do, and they have a bunch of shades. So I have my Fenty palette that I'm pretty sure that you can't get anymore, because this was like like Christmas thing in 2021, but I use it a lot this year. And it's just the Diamond Bombs that they have. Diamond Bomb Triple Drip palette. It's like, I don't think you get these anymore. They still have Diamond Bombs. They have 2 shades I think, like the original one and a pink shade, and these are just inspired by their gloss bombs. But either way, they're fantastic. I'm wearing it on my lid right now. I don't know if you can see like the glitter. That's what I usually do with these. I put them on my lid over the top of eyeshadow, without eyeshadow, or as highlights, as topper, and I love this. This is just, I use this so much. I use it on models, I use it on myself. I use it as body glitter. This is just the most, like, it's literally just glitter, as you can see, or not, because the camera is not gonna pick it up, but it's literally just glitter, but it like, the glitter is like, it looks wet, you know what I mean? And this is what I love. This is so good, and I recommend these, like, in, I don't care which shade to you. So if you can't get this palette, which I think you can't, just buy like the singles, because the singles are pretty good too, and it's still the same formula from them. And you need this. You need this. You can like, you can look at this. Everyone needs this. The concealer, every year I have one concealer that stood out to me. I'm a concealer fanatic, and this year it's the NYX Professional Makeup Bear With Me Concealer Serum. It has a cap, but I lost it, so yeah. I bought it in the middle of the year, I think, because I forgot my foundation at home, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy a concealer from NYX, and you know, because they're the only ones that have a shade for me. So I'm just gonna buy concealer and use that as foundation, and that's when I bought this. I have the shade Camel, and I'm gonna get a lighter shade from this, but this is the shade of my skin tone. It's not like a concealer shade, because I bought it to wear as a foundation. And this is the, I'm not joking. This, I say this every single year. Last year it was this Essence concealer, I think. This year it's this. This is so good. It's like lightweight. It's a serum, as it describes on the bottle, but it covers. You have to let it sit, by the way. You have to let it sit for a second and then blend it in, but it blends in so beautifully. It melts into your skin. You can't feel it at fucking all, and it just looks pretty because it's not, it's like, it leaves like a glowy finish because it's a serum. It's not like matte or anything, so yeah. I have oily skin, but it still looks phenomenal on me. And also when it like mixed with the oil, you just look healthy, not gonna lie. I discovered primer this year. I use primer now. So my favorite primer is the Milk Hydro Primer. Mine looks like shit, not gonna lie. This is a primer I feel like that everyone already saw on the internet, and that I don't have to talk about a lot. I still feel like this is not the best for oily skin, because it's a hydro primer and it doesn't really control like my oiliness, but my foundation stays on. And then as for something that I use a lot to do my makeup but also other people's makeup, is this. Basically it has contour shades on this side and highlighter shades on this side. The highlighters are phenomenal. I swear to God, when I opened it I was like, ew, but this looks so good on skin. I love these on other people. I use this a lot, and it looks on pictures, it looks okay. Makeup Revolution just knows how to make highlighters. So if you want highlighters, they're not subtle. If you're looking for subtle highlighters, don't go to Makeup Revolution. But if you like the bam, this is it. Yeah. Something else I used a lot to pamp up like my eyeliner when I want to is to apply this glitter from Sephora collection, and the shade, what's the shade of this? 07. To my under eye. It's basically like a glitter with like a black bluish base. Then we all know I use this to glue down my eyebrows. Nothing is better than this. I tried to find something that is better than this, but I didn't find anything. And I'm pretty sure I showed this in my other video, but I'm still showing it again because I still love it. After that we have, this year was my year of gems. I loved putting pearls, rhinestones on my face, on my eyes, and I finished my pearls, but these are my rhinestones. If you can see, I don't know, yeah, these are my rhinestones. I got these on Shein, but they're like nail rhinestones, the ones that you usually put on your nails. They're just basic silver rhinestones that I either put under my here on my lower lash line or in my inner corner or on my lid. It depends what I want. Usually when I'm bored of my makeup look, I just put rhinestones on it and it looks better. Next category, books. Okay, so in 2022 I started reading a lot actually, and I still read and I love it. It's my new personality trait, and I thought I would share with you my favorite books. Like the first books that I read that I was like, oh my god, yes. And it is a book series that I pretty much like now. It's not one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. It's not up there with my 5-star reads, and it still has things that I could nitpick on, but they're pretty good, not gonna lie. And I have a newfound appreciation for Lauren Asher. The book that I'm talking about is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I was so obsessed with this. When I finished it, I was like, oh my fucking god, I need the second one. I read the second one not so long ago, Terms and Conditions, so I'm putting them together, you know. The first one and the second one are so good. The series is so good. I gave both of them I give this 4.75 stars, and Terms and Conditions is a 4.5. This was a tiny bit better than the first one. Okay, after that we have my favorite series of last year. I haven't finished it yet. I haven't read every single book in the series, but it's just the best. I was obsessed when I started reading them, and I'm still obsessed even though I haven't finished it yet. But the series I'm talking about is A Court of Thorns and Roses. With the first book, I loved it. I give it 4 stars. The first book is not as good as the rest, but it's still good. Like the last 200 pages, I was like, oh mama. And I wasn't expecting that plot twist. I was like, what? The second book, A Court of Missing Fury, is my favorite book of all time. I gave that book 5 stars. After I read it, I was shocked, and I've never felt those feelings in my life after reading a book. Still till this day. I read the third one too, which is A Court of Wings and Ruin, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I give that book 4 stars. It was slower than the second one for me, but it still was good. I loved the end, and I was disgusted to cry in a train, but that's why I gave it 4 stars. Okay, 5-star read. Something that I'm pretty sure isn't everyone's cup of tea is Normal People. Normal People for me, it was just a book that left me empty inside. Like, I read the entire book, and at the end, I couldn't believe that was the end. Like, I read the last page, I flipped, and I was like, that's it? Sally Rooney, I'm just saying, I love Sally Rooney. This is the only book I've read till now. I'm reading another one that I haven't finished yet. But Sally Rooney, the writing, I was like, she has the simplest, like, sentences ever that have so much meaning behind them. Like, in my opinion, because that's how I see it. But I read like the simplest like line the person says, and you're like, okay. I don't know, it's just very genuine, and it's very character driven. It doesn't have a plot. It has one, but also not. It's just you're going through the phases in their life, like through high school, college, and postgraduate, I think, and it's just painfully realistic, and that's what made me like the book. I just finished it and I was like, why did you do that to me? Why did you end the book that way? But I was like, that's just life. I was at the back of my head, I was like, that's how life goes. Why should she write another end just for me to be happy? And another book that stood out to me last year was One Last Stop. That was one of the first books I've read, and I think my first queer story. It's just so good. The work representation in that, so good. It's about 2 queer women, and it's kind of like sci-fi, and not sci-fi, but it's it involves with time traveling and stuff. Yeah, that's one of the plots in the book. I'm not gonna give a synopsis. I'm just gonna explain why I liked it. I liked it because it has great representation of love stories the chemistry between the characters. And yeah, that's why I liked it. It plays in New York. It's very wholesome and so fucking good. I loved it. You should read it if you're looking for a queer story. A queer. This video is going to be so fucking long. I feel like if you're looking for something else that is very easy to read that I also very much enjoyed is The Lighter Green Doesn't Care. I read that in 2 days or 1 day, I don't know, but I read it pretty fast, and it's a queer rom-com again, and it's so easy to read, and the characters are so likable and so good. It's the first book in a series that I started reading, and I read the second one this year. That was the first book I read in 2023. So, and I love that one too. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. I'm not gonna tell you about that book, but The Lighter Green Doesn't Care is very good, and if you're looking for a queer rom-com, you should read that. Yeah. After this, I do movies and TV shows. Not gonna lie, 2022 wasn't my movie and TV show year. I passed my time reading because Netflix wasn't it last year for me. And movies, I just watched every single Marvel movie that came out. And I would say my top movie of last year was just Black Panther. It came out in December, I know, and it's still in the theaters, but I feel like Black Panther is just the best movie I saw last year, and nothing else shocked me. Oh yes, one movie on Netflix was exceptional for me, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was like, the thing with that movie is that it's very ridiculous. The ending, very ridiculous, but that's what made it that good. Like, I don't care that it's a plot twist out of nowhere, that you wouldn't think that that was coming, but it just made me, I was like, oh my god, this is just the ridiculousness of that made me like the movie even more. And I don't know the name anymore. I'm looking for it. Here you go, found it. Do Revenge on Netflix with Camila Mendes, the one from Riverdale, and Maya Hawke, the one from Stranger Things. That movie, I still love it. It was like a solid 7 out of 10. And TV shows, I didn't watch anything that made me... Oh, I watched Stranger Things season 4. That was the last year. I forget that Stranger Things season 4 happened. That too was exceptional. Season 4, and I can't wait to watch season 5, which is the last one, by the way. The last category is music. So I'm gonna mention albums. That's what I do in this category. I have a few songs that I liked that I'm gonna mention too. I would say that my top albums from last year were Face of the Sun by 17. I love that album. I listened to that a lot when it came out, and I still listen to a few songs on that album a lot, and every single song on that is exceptional. They have other songs that they came out with in 2022 as Cheers was very good, World was very good. Those two songs that came after Face of the Sun, mwah. Okay, good. That's when I came to the conclusion that 17 doesn't have one bad song. Yeah. The second album that I am recommending today, Heal by The Rose. It's just, I found an appreciation for The Rose. They were one of my top 5 artists in my wrap up. I love this album. I listened to it from start to finish every single time without skipping one song, and that's how you should listen to it. Don't put it on shuffle. And every single song on this is so good. So good. I am not lying. This album is perfection. Perfection. I'm so mad I didn't get a ticket to see them live in Brussels. That happened last weekend. After that, after that album, we have an album that I'm pretty sure everyone loved, and that just came out in December, but it's already a favorite of mine. It's SOS by SZA. I was waiting for that one, and I got it, and I love it. SOS, I also listened to the album from start to finish, and that's when you know I like an album. I feel like my favorite song right now from the album, it changes all the time. When I first listened to the album, it was Nobody Gets Me. It's still one of the top songs on the album for me, but now the song that I listen to the most is Snooze. I love that song, but I have tons of others that I like. The second album I'm mentioning is Indigo by RM. That came out in December too, and I listened to that. The first time I listened to it, I was like, yeah, that's it. I said yes, that is, I'm not gonna lie, I think Indigo by RM is my favorite album from 2022, period. The last album I'm mentioning is Ordinary by Stray Kids. I love Maxident. Do not get me wrong, Maxident is also very good, but I feel like Ordinary had an other impact on me than Maxident, and I love it. I love everything. There's not one song in Ordinary that is bad. I love Ordinary, and Maniac is just, there's nothing that is similar to Maniac. Nothing. But yeah, I love Ordinary. My favorite song on Ordinary is Waiting for Us. Waiting for Us was my top one. It was the song that I listened to the most last year, and I love it. I love Waiting for Us. I put that song on so many times when this album came out. Yeah. So I think those were like pretty much the albums that I still listen to a lot and that have a chokehold on me. Also, Giveon's new album that he came out this year was also very good, and I have a few songs over there. I have also groups that I started listening to this year that I love, that are like Le Seraphim debuted this year. I also their title songs like Fearless and Anti-Fragile in particular had a chokehold on me, and I love them. And we have New Jeans. Hype Boy was in my top 5 songs. I listened to that song so many times without getting sick of it. Girl groups this year, I just love them. I feel like the girl groups were dominating this year without, like, I know I love BTS and I love Stray Kids, but the girl groups just slayed. Blackpink, their album was also very good, even though I just like 3 songs on that album. G-Idol, I started standing G-Idol this year, and I love them too, and I love the message they have, like Tomboy, I love that song. And Nude, also Nude is so good. I started standing a lot of girl groups this year, and I love that for me. And I feel like the top girl group song this year for me was That from Twice. I listened to that so many times and I still love it. And those, I'm stopping because if I continue, I'm never gonna end this video. But yeah, those basically were my favorites of 2022. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you take my recommendations and go have a better life. So yeah, I wish you a very good 2023, and I'll see you next week with a new video. I hope so. So yeah, okay, bye.